So let's say this is part 2, and part 2 is just how but 2 is the divorce process itself. So the divorce process itself is, now you've decided, maybe no one is working out in my best interest, and ushaona kwamba najaribu kila kitu. You've gone for therapy, umejaribu ku sort it out with your husband or your wife, and it's not working out still, and waona kwamba mimi afadhali nitoke kwa sababu siwezi kuishi na huyo mtu tena. When that happens, that process, one thing, don't discuss it with everybody. When I was going through my divorce process, there was a lot of throwing of words between the two families, and it was quite a painful experience kwa sababu utasikia maneno juu yako wewe ambao you're not happy and you know they're not true, or kuna siri pengine you discussed it with your husband and now it's out there. And same with my husband, the things he heard, the things he was told, and the things we later addressed that I didn't say, he didn't say, but because we talked to too many people, ex-husband, because we talked to too many people, it ended up being bringing us more fire, if I may say. Like, it made it even worse. I was very angry with him. He was very angry with me. He felt like I was trying to tarnish his name. He felt like I'm trying to tarnish his name. Of course, we are both angry that this thing isn't working out. I'm saying it's his fault. He's saying it's my fault. And it was back and forth. So, and we had 2 kids then. So you can imagine what's happening with the kids. Manake wakenda kwao, maneno ukija kwangu, maneno kwetu pia ni maneno, same thing. So it really becomes a very emotional time. So I would tell you, don't talk to people about it. Don't. Ikiwa unaamua wataka kuatana na yule mtu, be it mwanamke mwanamume, I'm talking general, by the way, just try and keep quiet. Try and keep quiet. Try and say that it's happened. Namua, I want a divorce. And if you're not the one that asked for the divorce, or you're not the one that wants that divorce, ikiwa mwenzako yuwetaka ile kwa lazima, and you've tried your best to really save the marriage, and waona huyu lazima yuwetaka kwa lazima, maybe you can suggest a separation. For me, we went to a 9-month separation. It still didn't change my mind. It didn't change his mind. We still wanted to go our separate ways. And it was the families. It's always the families that make things more heavy to people. And we also contribute to that, you know, because you wataka kujidefend, so na wewe watoa maneno, na mwenzako pia toa maneno, you know. And if you try and not talk about it, hata kama mtu wa kusema kwa maneno, afadhali unyamaze. Because trust me, later you do regret it, especially ukiwa una watoto. It only harms the children. It is a difficult time, tempers are high, everybody's angry, so you try as much as possible to just contain it inside. For wanawake, we get blamed. Ataka kuatwa na mwanamume, ataka kuatwa na you know, ataka kuzurura. There's all sorts of things. Or ambachwa ni vivu, ambachwa hajui kukaa na mume, ambachwa hajui kujipamba. Very silly reasons usually come up, you know. So you feel less, you know. You feel like I'm not saying that happened to me. I'm just saying that generally it happens that way. A lot of maneno usually go to the woman. She gets blamed a lot. Yes, I was blamed a lot too, in different aspects. But you know, so when that happens, the woman usually takes a lot of emotional. It takes a lot of emotional toll on the woman, because if you're not emotionally stable, you can really read into those words and say, pengine kweli mimi ni hivi, pengine mimi ni, you know, and you feel bad. Kwa nini wanisema hivi? Kwa nini ile? Kwa nini? It really hurts, and you go into depression while you're going through the divorce process, which becomes so much stressing to yourself physically. Weza kufeel physically ni mgonjwa. I've spoken to several women that say they have felt that. They don't want to do anything. They don't want to go out. Na saa nyingine your own family is against you as well. Kwa nini wataka kuwatoa? Do you have somebody else? Do you want to kutuletea aibu kwenye family yetu? You know? So you have a lot of pressure. No matter what you say, look, this is what has happened to me in this marriage. I don't want this. The older people always tell you, we went through worse. Nyinyi mambo madogo madogo haya. And it could be mwanamke apigwa. It could be mwanamke is verbally being abused. It could be mwanamke is not getting the sexual rights that she wants. We always assume that men give women 100% sexual rights, and sometimes it isn't like that. You know, it could be the man can't sexually provide 100%. Sisemi shoga, nasema tu maybe he's not sexually active as much as the woman. So you cannot outrightly say, okay, fine, I don't want this man because he wants to have sex once a week and I want to have sex every day, and I feel this is emotionally not okay for me. I need somebody who can keep up with me, you know. And there are men also the same way. This woman doesn't want to sleep with me all the time. I'm a very active man. I need somebody to sleep with me, able to sleep with me every day or all the time or whatever. So those are all valid reasons for people to say, listen, this is not working out. My sexual compatibility with yours isn't working. But will we say that out loud? Hapa kwetu sisi? Can you sit as a woman and say, you know what? I need sex more than he does and he's not giving it to me. So can I walk out of this marriage? It is a valid reason, but hatutokubaliwa. Another reason is drugs. Drugs, mira, these are things some women don't want. And if it overly affects the man's productivity at work, or affects him by changing his way of communicating with the family, like suddenly akila mira, akila nini is unavailable, kitumia drugs, obviously somebody cannot work na nini. I think you get the picture. So does a woman have a right to walk out of that marriage? No. Does she? But are we usually told yes, we have a right, or we're told subra? Our biggest word here in Mombasa is subra. Divorce is the most hated, permissible act in Islam, but it should not be misused for abuse in relationships. I don't care which gender you are, but it should not be used as an abuse. And I'm going to use it in terms of women abuse because that is what happens to us hapa culturally a lot. We are expected culturally, wanawake, to take in everything culturally, but religiously we are not. And I tell young girls and I tell women, kwa nini hamusomi? We spend so much time on the internet, but we will never sit and find out what are our rights, where is the border, where do I draw a border on this? But this is right, this is now abuse, this is now, I need to walk out. No, we don't. Some of us haven't gone to school. We haven't known anything except we grew up and we got married. You are scared of leaving what you know to go somewhere else or to be alone. Loneliness is, I stayed alone for over 2 years. And it started out as the worst period in my life because I'm so used. I was married for 9 years. I was so used to having someone beside me. And suddenly it was all gone, you know. And during that period, it felt very lonely. After that, I was fine. You know, I got used to it and I was fine. That's what people don't think. You'd be fine eventually. Be it you're a guy, because people tend to think men don't feel depressed, especially if they didn't want to lose that woman in their lives. And then suddenly they lost that woman in their life. Because kitu cha kijinga, sometimes it's just family interference. Mtu kakosa yule mke na yumpenda na roho yake yote. So it makes the guy go into depression. But because we are in a society where mwanamume should not show his depression, he puts up a totally different face. You know, he acts like he's happy, but he's not. He's also hurting inside. You know, so men, please, you need to also take charge of your marriages. Don't leave it to your mothers. Don't leave it to your sisters or your brothers or whatever. You need to know that where you draw the line between your rights for your mother, your rights for your wife. Of course, your mother comes first. Always. Always. But you need to even tell your mothers that as far as I'm concerned, I need to give you everything that I have. But wewe pia una masuli kwa huyu mtoto wa watu wa kike to make sure that you don't mistreat her, because I don't want you to get any sins from Allah for mistreating someone else's daughter, just for mistreating somebody in Islam. Just that. We can always sort out things between, like now, after I'm married again, I can see things that I could have done with my ex-mother-in-law. I can see things that my husband could have done with my ex-mother-in-law to smoothen the relationships between us. You know, now that I'm older, I can see that. But then I was young. And like I said in my other video, we need the older people when we get married to guide us. I lacked that guidance, so napita na giza to try my way out. But now that I'm maturing, alhamdulillah, I have a better relationship with my current mother-in-law. You know. Sorry, it's not corona. Napaliwa hapo kuna joto sana. Sorry, really bad timing. But anyways, that's that. Inshallah, let us try and understand each other, might not be just blind. So through the divorce process, you will go through a lot of emotional, just try being civilized with each other. Try. I remember when I finally realized what was happening, and then I'm like, you know what, this is never going to end if not one of us doesn't step down. And I had to just tell him, I said, like, listen, this has happened, it's not like we're getting back together. And if you find everything is my fault, I accept. I'm fine, I accept. I'm sorry for everything that's happened, I accept. And, but let's move forward now, to Shaza, to Nana Watoto, let's just move forward. And alhamdulillah, it's been a good journey so far. So yes, again, you need unselfish parents when you're going through the divorce process, not to throw at each other. Every time through any process, whether you're trying to work out your marriage, whether you're trying to get the divorce, parents, unselfish parents are required. You need to be civilized. Kutukanana, it doesn't solve anything. And you usually know it doesn't solve anything. So you're going to interpret. So it's just take care of your mental well-being. Try and be as sane as possible. Know that maneno yatatoka, watu watasema. But knowing who you are, and I always tell people, having principles of who you are is very, very important. Who are you? Who are you for real? What are your principles? So when you know that, then nothing can shake you. I am so and so. I am this kind of person. I don't want this done to me, and I will not tolerate A, B, C, D. Once you have those, nothing can shake you. So know yourself first is the ultimate beginning to a good life, if I may say so. Another thing is explaining to children what is happening in the simplest way possible. I'll discuss that in another video when I say coping with children through the divorce process and then after the divorce process, inshallah. Let's be civilized in the comment section, please, and understand that what may be a problem to you, what may not be a problem to you, might be a problem to somebody else. Let us be kind. And let us always step in somebody's shoes when we are trying to explain things in our perspective. Thank you, guys.